What's going on, everyone? Nick here. Welcome to another video. This video we're going to be talking about monitoring your ads. All right, so in the last couple videos we've been going over Facebook ads and then getting an ad launched, and now this is going to be very beneficial to anybody that's new because we're going to start looking at monitoring your ads and really what you can look at while you're on your search for that first winner. All right, so in full disclosure here, I started running ads a couple days ago to this store, and I kind of put some stuff up, threw some stuff out there to see what would happen, and then I moved over the past couple of days, and I was just letting things run, checking in every now and then, but I have not yet hit my first sale on the Bold and Social store, and that is completely okay. All right, I want to be full disclosure with you guys. I want to show you, exactly what it's like building a store. As I said from the very beginning with the Bold and Social store, what I'm doing is a completely new concept for me. All right, so I have winning stores that I've created in the past, and people have seen the sales that I've been able to generate, but I didn't want to base anything off of that moving into this group for two reasons. Of course, number one, because those are my winning products, and that's the stuff that I want to keep to myself. But also, number two, because I really want to step out of my comfort zone as an entrepreneur and show you guys and build a store live with you. All right. So in that process, I've been testing some new niches that I have no idea about. I've never sold jewelry before, okay? And I've never sold women's style clothing and accessories before, all right? And these are huge markets, so of course we all know that they can be profitable if you find the right items and you start to narrow in your audiences. But I'm just doing my research and kind of guessing along the way here, which is what e-commerce is. Look, anybody out there, of course, the best teacher is going to be experience in e-commerce, but if you are stepping out of your comfort zone, I don't care what business you're in, I don't care how many past sales you've made, all right, if you're stepping out of your comfort zone into a new area, there's going to be trial and error in figuring it out, because remember, as I said, it's what the market tells you, it's not what you think, all right, and sometimes we can be completely off, and we can do our research. Everybody's different. There are people in this group right now that from watching the videos I've created have already launched their stores and made sales. I have a guy, I just saw his post yesterday, Edgar, I think, and he launched his first store, has never done this before, and within 2 days he got his first sale. So that's absolutely incredible, all right, and that's a testament to the power of this information and the niches that you're choosing. All right, so for me, testing brand new stuff, I haven't hit my first sale yet, but I've been generating traffic, which is great, of course, and I have some ads here that we're going to go over because I've been testing some things, and I think that it's really good actually that it's happening this way, because had I set up a store and got a sale right away, it might have been discouraging to some of the new people. But setting up a store and showing you the trial and error of going through, I've spent $90 testing so far and haven't gotten a sale. You can see how it goes, all right? And I'm completely confident in this store and the sales that will be coming as I continue to test more stuff. And some of it is just the things that have failed that we're going to look at are really the jewelry. I've tested, some money on jewelry here, and I've just been missing the mark, all right? Jewelry is a hard thing to target, and that's why a lot of people, fail trying to build a store around jewelry. And that's why I want to test it out first. So let's take a look at some of the stuff right now that I have, and I guess kind of go through some of this. All right, some of the things that, well, let's talk about the weed socks first, because that was the original product that I launched, okay? And this was the original PPE ad. All right, so with this ad, you can see that precise interests, these were the ones that we went over and I showed you how I was targeting, okay? All right, so the first thing that I want you to see is the way that I set up my columns here. All right, so when you're in here, your automatic default, like it shows you, is going to be performance, where it'll show you a few things, but it doesn't really give you the full picture of your ad, okay? So the first thing you'll want to do is come here in the customize columns, and I suggest setting it up like mine, all right, because these are the metrics that I look at to judge the success of an ad. So you'll come through and you'll just have to check the things that we need checked: results, reach, relevance score, cost, amount spent. As a quick note here, I don't really care about my cost per impressions. You may hear some people talk about that, but in all reality, I don't find it to be a metric that has ever really made or been a determining factor in the success of my ad. Either your ad's getting sales or it's not. Scrolling down, there's a couple that are missing here for some reason. Obviously, we want to have the purchase Facebook pixel in here. Oh, I know why, because I have it set to performance. All right, so here's what we want selected: results, reach, relevance, cost, amount spent, link clicks. All right, this is that metric we've been talking about, super important in judging the success of your ad. Cost per engagement, CPC link. All right, so link clicks is actually how many. It gives you just the raw number of link clicks you've had. And then your CPC link, as you've heard me talk about, gives you a dollar and cents metric of the average cost for each link click, which is important because, again, this is something that you can use as an indicator of where what type of success your ad has, or really an early indicator of whether or not you should keep your ad running. Purchase pixel, we want that, of course. And then I don't think there's anything else really, except all the way at the bottom, delivery and budget, of course, but that should be set by default. And then you'll just want to arrange, if you want it to look like mine, then you can arrange them like this. This is how I have mine arranged, from ad set, delivery, amount spent, and you can just move them around to arrange them. And then when you're ready, you'll hit Save Preset, name it whatever you want to name it, and then click Apply. All right, and then your columns will look like this. So when I come through here, I can see the amount spent, the budget that I have it on, how many people it's reached, cost per post engagement. This will always be the cost of whatever the objective is. All right, so this is a PPE ad, so it's post engagement is what it's given me. If it was a conversion ad, it's given me my cost per conversion. Results tells you how many actual engagements you've had. Again, same thing, it's based on your objective. So you'll see it'll look a little bit different when we're looking at a website conversion ad. Cost per post engagement, your CPC link, and how many link clicks and then purchases, of course. And if you click on the ad set, it'll give you your relevance score as well. So when I looked at this originally, you can see I let it run to $9. Post engagement was where it needed to be, which was why I was letting it run. But my cost per click was way too high. All right, I only had 3 link clicks, and it was at $3. And my relevance score was good, so I knew I was targeted correctly. But for some reason, I wasn't generating enough link clicks. Now, if you look at this post, it's not found anymore because I removed it. You saw in the last video the original post I made where I put some images together of people actually wearing the socks, and I think what happened with that, my original idea was that it would be good to show people wearing the socks. However, I think because of the images I picked, that I was kind of polarizing the audience based on those images. All right, so what I ended up doing after getting to $9.40 and seeing my CPC, I said to myself, something's wrong here. I know that this is a winning product. I know that this is a targeted audience. Why am I not generating the clicks I feel like I should be generating out of this ad? And the only answer I could come up with was the image. All right, which is an important note because split testing the image can be very beneficial. You know, everything I showed you in the last video about creating an image is all still relevant, of course, but in this case, it turned out that split testing the image was the reason that I wasn't getting the response that I wanted from my ad. So I'll show you what I changed the image to, because as you can see, I ran a new PPE ad to the weed socks, and my engagement was much better. All right, it was immediately a much better response that I was getting to this ad. All right, so let's look a little at the difference here first at what I did. All right, I changed up the text and I made it more simple and said just would you wear these? Simple question to get people engaged. Still kept the tag, someone will love this, get yours here, and then just a picture of the socks. All right, no people, picture of the socks with something that says 20 awesome colors to choose from. All right, and now I'm getting a much better reaction already. See people saying I would wear them all. We need these. Oh my God, got 4 pair. Already got a pair. Of course, that doesn't help me, but it's good social proof on this ad because people aren't going to know if these guys got a pair from me or they got a pair from someone else, right? But just in general, having people say that they have a pair is awesome. All right, so that is already, that image is performing much better, as you can see, which is a great example for people of why your ad may not be performing the way that you want it to. All right, and now you can see with this, at almost an exact comparison, we're at $9.09 spent here. I'm at 2 cents per engagement instead of 6, like in the last ad, and my CPC is 91 cents. I've had 10 link clicks, 91 cents. Not the best CPC ever, but pretty good, right? Lets me know that I have an audience interested in buying this because I'm getting much more clicks, so that image is getting a much better reaction. Haven't had a purchase yet, but I'm confident that I will get a purchase on this soon enough. As a matter of fact, the next move for this is going to be to turn it into a website conversion ad. All right, PPE ads won't always get a sale in the first $10. I have good evidence here, though, that I should let this run a little bit longer to like $15 and see what happens. All right, as Facebook continues to optimize on this ad. But I'm also going to go ahead and use the same exact audience here, which is just simply 2 magazines that I narrowed it down to 2 magazines, Skunk Magazine and 420 Magazine, which are good buying interests. All right, people that like magazines based around the niche that they're in are usually people that are interested in buying because there's a good chance that they have subscription services to these magazines, right? So what we're going to do here, like I said before, sometimes if I have really good evidence on an ad, I'll just go ahead and jump right to a website conversion ad even if I didn't get a sale on it yet. Because remember, website conversion ads are actually optimized for conversion. Okay, conversion event we're going to select is add to cart. And same audience. So 18 to 44. I'm going to start it at 21. Like I said, normally I'll run my PPE ads. How many people have we reached? 4,000? Alright, that's enough to look at age and gender. I seem to be getting all my link clicks. Well, I get 4 from male, 4 from female. Alright, there's not really enough there to make a determination, other than the fact that the younger age is not clicking as often. So we're going to stick with the original idea here and just go 21 to 44 all. And 420 Magazine and Skunk Magazine. And the reason I picked these is because they both had a high affinity to it. As a matter of fact, let me show you. I guess it's best to always show. So this was an interest that I had from the last one, but then there were some interests that I removed, and I just looked for a decent sized audience with a high affinity to each other. And what I found were these two. So they have a good affinity to each other, and I have a good audience size just from those two alone, so there was really no reason to continue on. Seven-day conversion window. Lead magazine is 2144. All right, and use an existing post, of course. So we got that, and then we'll place the order. Continue. All right. So that's everything for the wheat socks example. All right, and now that ad will start running, and then we'll check back on it. All right, now let's look at some ads that are failing that I moved through pretty quickly. Now I've already spent some money, but in efforts of testing stuff for the group, you know, I'm letting stuff run a little bit longer sometimes than I normally would, especially trying to dive into some of these new niches. Like Bohemian Tapestries was one that I tested here. Let's just open a few of these up, these ones that I really know nothing about. All right. So the first one with the Bohemian Tapestries. This one, I just, you know, I think that it was a combination of maybe the picture not being correct. I still may come back and test this ad again. Not this ad, or test this product again with a different picture. So I don't know that the picture here that I used was getting the message across. I think maybe having one with like somebody sitting on it on the beach would do better. I didn't want to use a picture with just the beach because I thought that that would polarize the audience. But picture can play a big role, so you always got to pay attention to that. Now you'll see that I tested a few different things. I didn't spend a lot of total money because I killed all of these very quickly based on my tests of, I did a couple different angles, yoga interests. These are all brands. Okay, Simple Addiction is like a boutique brand. These are our website brands. And you can see here that my cost per engagement was really high right out of the gate on all of these. All right. And I killed them all by, like this one, I killed it 64 cents because that was just way too high. So that's how you can understand. This is a great example of understanding how something can be targeted incorrectly and you can kill it early before wasting a lot of money. All right, which I think is a good example for new people because you may not understand what is too high and what is a definite loser, I guess. And these were all losing ad sets. All right. And, you know, I don't necessarily think that my targeting ideas were that far off. All right. Like I did research to find these ideas. And I think that it's a combination of the product image just wasn't really getting the message across. So that one is an example, again, of things that I killed quickly, and then I moved on. After testing a few different ad sets, I said, you know what, Nick, you're just not getting it right now. Let's move on to a different product. All right. So then what I did, before we look at those other losing ad sets, is I moved on to the elephant tapestries. All right, so different image, different type of tapestry, same type of text, but I'm getting a much better reaction to this, right? Beautiful, love it, beautiful, I wish I could buy this, magnificent. So the reason I turned off this ad is because that I spent $11 on it. I was getting okay link clicks. This is a little expensive for my taste on a link click, but as you can see, much more what you want to see. Post engagement was good. Comments were okay. I was getting shares on that as well, and I'm getting link clicks. So I'm definitely targeted on this, and what I decided to do once $11 was spent is move over to a website conversion ad. And figured that may perform better, all right, because my link clicks were a little bit high on this. That's why. That was the main reason for that. If my link clicks would have been under $1, I probably would have let this run a little bit longer. But I also looked at my price too online. My price I lowered because I looked at it and I was getting link clicks, and I had to say, well, is there a reason people aren't buying? So I dropped the price a little bit just yesterday, actually, because what I did here, so you see the PPE ad, you see the results that I was getting, and why I decided to keep this, to kill the PPE ad, but to run it as a conversion ad. So this is the same exact audience, just as a conversion ad now. for add to cart. Now, as you can see here, I'm getting a much better link click cost. All right, it's under $1. So, and 64 cents per conversion. So that's much better. What I did yesterday is I had to say to myself, well, at this point, between the two of them, I've spent almost $20, and I've had, like 18 visitors or something like that, 17, 18, 19 visitors, somewhere around there, and I haven't made a sale yet. So the question is my price too high on this item? So yesterday I dropped the price a little bit, so we'll see how that performs now that I dropped the price, because people are definitely interested in this product. And between the two, I've spent almost $20, but they're each separate. On this ad alone, I've only spent $8 so far. So we'll see what happens by the end of the day, I guess, on this product. All right, moving back into some of these jewelry items I tried to launch. Again, not really sure at all about what I'm doing with this audience. I mean, I looked up boutiques that were high relevance, high affinity scores within themselves, and I tested them, figuring that this type of item would appeal to that kind of audience, and I was wrong, of course, as you can tell, because my post engagement was way too high. And I let these run a little bit longer than I should have because I was moving, so I spent a little bit more money on this than I would have liked to. I mean, we're only talking a couple dollars here, but it all adds up as you're continuing the test. And so, again, another example just to show you as proof and evidence that if you start out high, you're generally not going to come down any lower. So it's always good to kill early. People sometimes wonder, well, maybe I'm killing it too early. But if the signs aren't there early, the signs aren't going to be there later. So that's why as soon as you see that things are too expensive, you should be killing them, because ads that work are always going to be like around or within the framework that I've given in the prior videos to this. So with this jewelry, as you can see, it's just not working for me right now. The same thing over here. You can see I just turned this one off. I turned this campaign off because this was my third test that I did a couple days ago, and by 67 cents I killed it because I only had one engagement. All right. Same thing here with these, way too high, so I killed them by a couple dollars spent. Because I'm just off the mark for some reason. All right, I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out who the audience is for this type of jewelry. So one thing that I'm going to try right away is I'm going to rename the collection and make a new page for it. All right, maybe this idea is not working. All right, so the Kiss Me jewelry, maybe that's not something that this audience is responding to with this type of jewelry. Maybe I need to go on a more vintage look. All right, so I'm going to try that, and I'll let you know how it goes. Again, all of this stuff is meant to be testing live for you to see. It's not, there's plenty of other case studies and courses out there where you can see somebody show you a winning ad set, and we will get winning ad sets on this store, but it's, I think, very beneficial for you to see the testing process, the behind the scenes stuff that most of the time people aren't showing you. Believe me, these other people out there, these leaders, quote unquote, and these gurus, quote unquote, that we all see out there, they're spending money and they're testing ads and they're losing money too. They're just not showing you that. They're showing you the big performers, and so you're getting a skewed perspective of it. All right, so this is definitely this is what it looks like to test and go through things and step out of your comfort zone and look at new niches and ideas. You're going to have to refine the process as you go. This one, I'm going to refine the process. I'm going to create a new type of page that I might call something like vintage style jewelry. And I'm going to test it from there with a different branding, different, type of approach to it, because all of that stuff matters. All right. The image matters as much as the image they see here and the name they see here. It doesn't matter if your page has likes on it or not, but it may be something that it just all has to work together. Sometimes at a very, very subconscious level, it all has to work together. All right. and this formula that I have here is not working for this item. So it's time to refine that, because I do think that this jewelry can sell, and I'm not done testing that, and I'm not done trying to break into the jewelry niche. And when we do, it's going to be super beneficial for you guys to have seen the entire process. Right, so moving on from there, let's look at the owl examples. The owl jewelry is something that I think, again, what my mistake is trying to run it from a We Love Owls page, because I'm starting to learn as I look at it that I believe that the audience is not interested in these types of things because of owls. They're interested in it because it matches a certain style of jewelry. All right. That's data that I'm learning from my testing. Even though these are failed ad sets, I'm learning that because I know that these items, we looked at them together. We saw that they're popular, and we saw that they have lots of sales. So the audience that I'm looking at was incorrect, where you can see that at first I tried layering the main owl bird interest with Alex and Ani. Alex and Ani is a charm bracelet kind of brand that for, I guess it's supposed to be meaningful jewelry with a meaning, right? Not gaudy, glittery kind of stuff, but like charms and stuff that people buy to represent themselves. And you can see as I refined it, all right, I went from Alex and Ani, didn't work. I went to Alex and Ani, just testing a middle age group, still didn't work. And I went to Alex and Ani testing a larger wide, or the younger age group, and I was getting much better. All right, by $5 spent, I was at 11 cents post engagement. Still not where I wanted to be though. So I knew that I was just not on point with this, and I decided to move on. And what my feelings are about this is I should put this into the vintage jewelry section. Like, I think that I should combine that all together. Because I don't think that the We Love Owls page is sending the right message about these types of items, because people don't necessarily need to love owls to be interested in this type of product. All right. Same thing with the earrings. Now, the earrings I tested a little bit different. I tried to test some boutiques. Again, the first thing I did was trying to layer the owls, just very basic. I said, let's layer all the main owl interests with a jewelry purchase behavior. That's what I did here, spread across the whole age range, and my results were awful. So at 51 cents, I killed it. Then I tested this brand called Origami Owl, which really isn't anything to do with just owls, but it's that type of jewelry. My engagement wasn't terrible. 15 cents. You can see I killed it at $2 because it wasn't getting any link clicks, is why I think I killed it. All right, so it was at 15 cents, but I didn't have a single link click yet on any of these, which is why I killed them, even though this was also at 12 cents here when I tested that, but no link clicks. All right, so in these cases, it's not that I was really targeted all that poorly, but something about what I was promoting was not making people want to click. All right, so that's why I killed those early. This one really early. I killed this at 37 cents spent because I just decided, this isn't bad. All right, 12 cents engagement at 37 cents spent is not bad. That probably would have dropped to where I wanted to be, under 10 cents. But what I had decided at that point is that I think I'm targeting it incorrectly. Not targeting it incorrectly, is that I'm presenting it incorrectly based on the page. All right, so I'm going to go change the page and come back to this item and run it again, and probably run it to this same exact audience. All right. Now this one is a frustrating one. All right, I started this ad here, and very basic. I layered all the owls interest, and then I layered family interests, and it started off great. I mean, here it started off great. I tried running it again today. It got one engagement by 22 cents, but Facebook shut it off both times because they're saying there's too much text in the image based on the fact that it's a clock. All right, and they're saying that, they're looking at these numbers and saying that there's way too much text in the image. So I sent them a message and said, this is ridiculous. You know, somebody needs to look at this ad again because it's a clock that I'm advertising. Of course, there are numbers in it. We'll see what happens with that because I want to run this product because I think that this is a product that I can run through the We Love Owls page. And I think this is a product that could do well. So I'll just have to wait and see though. But for that one, I appealed it. All right, which I just did by doing this. Go to add. Get guidance. All right. I said this should be an exception to the rule because it's a product image. All right. So that's what they say here. See examples of types of text that won't limit delivery. Basically, if it's a product with the text on it, they shouldn't be counting it against me. So I went down here and where did I do this? In case you ever have to do this, where was it? Oh, my ad wasn't approved. I think it's a mistake. Use this form. All right, and then I said I'm referring to this ad, and then I understand, and then you just type in your thing and send it. All right, sometimes they don't get back to you right away, and when they do that, I will send them a new one of these every like 24 hours until I hear from them. Okay. Last one of things that didn't work, kitten coffee mug. This was targeted correctly, but this is an example of how you can have a product out there that has good cost per engagement, but not enough link clicks. And so people like the product. It makes them like, oh, that's so cute, you know, but they don't want to actually buy the product. All right. And that's an example of this based on the fact that I had good cost per engagement here, 7 cents. I got a couple comments, not really a lot, few shares, but I wasn't getting a single link click, right? So by $8 spent, no link clicks, but good engagement is usually a sign that it's not the image. People like the image because they're engaging with it, but they're not clicking, so people aren't really interested in buying a coffee mug like that. All right, at least this audience anyway, but I know that I'm targeted correctly on this audience and I'm precise here. So that lets me know this is probably something to just move on from. All right, and so I did. I killed that and moved on. Now some of the ads that I have running. Let's look at a test here that I'm running on a coffee grinder that I found, which is on my store. I made a video for it. All right. What I did here, I'll show you exactly what I did. All right. So here's the video. It does have just the basic music. Now, I didn't actually buy this product and do this myself, of course. So what I did is I went to YouTube and I typed in a coffee grinder to see what videos came up, and I found this video. I downloaded it and I edited it myself to make it work for my purposes. So basically it just goes through and it shows him using it. He grinds the coffee, then shows that, you know, it comes out like that, and then at the end shows a cup of delicious looking coffee, right? It's only a minute long, so the ideal length. And what I did for that, just so you know, is I came to YouTube. Actually, I didn't download the video, so I came to YouTube and I typed in the exact keyword, retro coffee grinders. And I happened to find this one, all right? So first of all, obviously I need to remove their sound from it. And I needed to not get it with these images, okay? So what I did is I just used a screen recorder and I did the full screen here, and then I set my screen recorder to only record like within this area, okay? And I recorded the parts of the video that I wanted, basically from this point after that box, because mine doesn't come in that type of box. So from this point to the end here, like this point, I just let my screen recorder run and captured. My screenshot recorder lets me capture the area that I want to by manually setting it. So that's what I did for that. And then I opened it up in Windows Media Player. I'm not going to show you all of these steps right now, but I opened it up in Windows Media Player, and I just removed the sound from it. So it was just a video with no sound. And then I edited it down by cutting out certain sections, because I only wanted to be a minute long. So you can just go in there and cut certain sections out. And then once it was a minute long, I saved it. And then I came to YouTube. And if you're familiar with this or you're not, YouTube has a section where you can find royalty-free music in Creator Studio. Now, it's not always the greatest music, but usually you can find some decent stuff. So you'll come here to Create, and you'll see free music, all right? And you have all kinds of free music you can go through. So I selected the mood I wanted as calm, trying to think of like a coffee shop type idea, and I came through and I found one of these tracks. And when you find one you like, you just download, and then you can upload it in Windows Media Player. If you use Windows, if you have Mac, it's something different, but it's the same process. You can then upload that music soundtrack to your video, because you already removed the prior soundtrack or any noise at all, and then that's how you get a video like this. All right, and it's just a very simple, serves its purpose. Because I wanted to test it for this item, I thought a video was a much better test than simply a stagnant photo, right? So far, let's look at the results. I just did this yesterday afternoon. Started at $2 a day because I wasn't sure. So far on the PPE ad, you can see the engagement's great. I've had 1 link click, so not a bad start. Still way too early to tell anything. I've only spent $1.18 on it. And then on the video views ad, I tested both, right? I tested a PPE ad and a video views, and I'm also going to test a conversion ad on this as well, because I want to test everything for the group, because videos are awesome. You can see how cheap I'm getting video views, 1 cent. It's not hard to get cheap video views, honestly, even if your video is only, just average like mine is. All right, 1 cent video views, and that's amazing, because basically you're able to put a commercial out there to the largest social platform in the world for 1 cent a view. All right, so it's really, really powerful. Something still kind of in the early developments of Facebook, but you can see the video views is off to a better start. Same amount spent, already got 2 link clicks, 1 cent per video view. And if we look at the actual post, this is a cool comment. I had one just like this one, again, some social proof. So I'm targeting really precise here on both of these. It's the same exact audience. I layered a bunch of coffee love interests with coffee actual purchase behavior. Let me show you what this looks like, what I did, I guess. So on this one, you can see I stacked a whole bunch of interests. First of all, it was the purchase behavior coffee, which was huge. That's like hundreds of millions of people, or maybe not hundreds, but like a lot of people, millions for sure. And then I layered it with all of these super precise coffee interests, and I came up with a 280,000 person audience, which is definitely precise. I ran it from ages 25 and older, and we're going to see how this goes. And based on the success that I'm having so far, just early with these audiences, I'll probably run a website conversion ad to this as well, and we'll get some good data testing to see when you run those three main types to a video, what actually performs the best for you. All right, because the crazy thing I've noticed about a post engagement on a video is they count the video views as a post engagement. So if you're running a post engagement and a video views at the same time, I'm almost not completely sure if you're getting charged for the same action on both, because it's telling me I have 69 engagements, right? but I don't have a total of that many likes, comments, and shares. Not even close, right? I have 5 likes, 1 share, and 1 comment. So, but I have 179 views. So I think that they count anybody just looking at this and maybe scrolling over the top of it, or doing this. I think they might count that as an engagement on this post. Which, if that's the case, then it makes me want to just lean more towards video views, because you're almost getting charged twice for the same thing. A video view is cheaper just to get charged for the video view and can still generate the clicks. All right, and I don't know that you're getting charged for the clicks on a video view ad. It's just part of it. So that may seem kind of confusing. I'm a little confused about it myself, but I'm going to keep testing it, and we'll see what we come up with. All right, and finally, we're moving into the candy skull bag right here. This is a new page that I created just yesterday. You've seen the skull items that I had on my page, something that I've wanted to test. It's an audience and a niche that I think can do well. So far, this is off to an okay start. I'm only at 27 cents spent, and I'm already under 10 cents. That's the type of stuff you want to see to let you know that you've really targeted your audience correctly, usually. If we look at the post, you can see what I'm selling here is a gym. If you're unfamiliar with what this niche is and why I named my page like this, candy skulls are just a type of, they're also called sugar skulls, really more commonly called sugar skulls, I think, where it's skulls that are designed in this Aztec, colorful, bright print type of deal. There's a huge niche out there for skulls, and for this type of skull, the sugar skull, I played off of that and called it candy skulls for my page. And this is the first product that I'm running. So far, seems like it's getting a decent reaction, so we'll see how this does. All right. It's a little too early to even look at the custom view, but you can see here there's not any clicks on it yet, but my engagement so far starting out is good. So that's everything there, and then finally, I'm going to start getting into custom merchandise with you guys. This is a product that I've run before, but I cut it off and stopped it because I was stopping my TrendSpark store. So I'm relaunching it, all right, which is a shirt post. So you can see I've ran this in the past from my I Love EDM page. This is a niche that I like. This is a niche that I plan on continuing with. I'm a big fan of the DJ Marshmallow. You've heard him playing as the soundtrack in some of the videos I record. I'm always listening to him. Pumps me up. It's just a different new type of sound. And anyway, this is an image that I drew. All right, I didn't copy this from somewhere. This dude wears this. He has an actual marshmallow like mask that he wears to conceal his identity. Nobody is supposed to really know who he is. Of course, I think some people have it figured out at this point because he's famous, but it conceals his identity, and it goes along with his stage name, Marshmallow, as a DJ. So anyway, I drew a picture of it from my perspective in Photoshop and filled it in and just made this simple image to put on a shirt. And it's sold in the past, has done fairly well for the tests that I ran in the past on my other Pixel. So I'm starting it all again and starting it on my new store because I plan on creating an I Love EDM niche in my new store as well. So that's something cool that I will keep you updated on. And what I'm going to do is when we get into the custom merchandise video next, I'm going to actually create some shirts with you as well to show you how all of that is done. And that's something that I actually plan on focusing on more. Drop shipping is awesome, of course. There's a lot to do with drop shipping, and I plan on continuing that because there's a lot of products out there. But custom merchandise has a lot of benefits, and it's where I plan to shift a lot of my focus in the coming months as well. So we're definitely going to be talking about this a lot more as we continue to go through this store and the content. So that is everything for now. That is what I have for you in this video. That is the update of where we're at with the Bold and Social store. As I said, so far I've spent $90 testing. Most of this was testing jewelry, and so I'm taking it with a grain of salt. Obviously, I want to have a sale by now, but I've never done jewelry before. And remember, if you don't know this about me, my first store, when I started it, I spent about $200 before finding a winning niche. All right. And continuously, once I found that niche, I was using that to build and build and build. Right. I was starting to make a lot of money, and I was starting to expand that niche and test different items and continue to scale and make a lot of money from that niche. And then once I was doing that within my TrendSpark store, I was able to start testing other items as well. And I've sold a lot of different items as well along the way. But moving into this now, I wanted to start branching into a lot of different categories that I've never been involved in. So for me, just like it may be for you, this is a brand new store in the realest sense. Yes, I'm going to bring some stuff in, like the marshmallow shirt, which has had a few sales in the past, and I plan on bringing in some of my coffee shirts, which have had a few sales in the past, just because I never fully expanded those to the level they could be expanded, because it was around the time that I was closing the TrendSpark store and moving on into different ideas. And then this group idea came about, and I started this, and now I'm building this store. So, again, I'm moving forward with it. Like you guys, I'm showing you that the realness, I think, is what I'm really trying to do. Like I've said from the beginning, is keep it 100% with you guys, do this for real with you, and show you what it's actually like. Believe me, even when I was running my store that was doing very well, TrendSparks, and the other stores after that were, that are and were making thousands and thousands of dollars a month, I was still constantly testing new products and failing at a lot of products. All right, the 80-20 rule. Remember, we talked about this in the very beginning. And again, it's why I think this video can be very beneficial for some of you newcomers, because yes, you're going to see stories out there about people that launch their store and they get their sale in the first day, or they find a winner in the first week. And that's great, but that's generally the smaller percentage of people. The larger percentage of people are going to start stores and they're going to have to go through the process. They found their winners early, right? But the other people might find their winners later. It's still the whole process. If you think of testing 10 items and only 2 of them are going to be your winners, or maybe 3, well, maybe some people find those 2 in their first 2 attempts, and then their next 8 fail, but they already have their 2 winners. And then maybe some people fail the first 8 times and catch their winner on the last 2. All right. That's the way you need to look at this. Everybody's experience is going to be different. But for those of you getting started out who've been running some ads, we've just looked at several things here that are really going to help you understand what you're doing when you're getting started. I haven't seen personally too many videos out there by any leader or guru that show you a store in this real of a sense, testing and actually spending money and showing you the process of refinement and going through it. All right, we definitely have some ads here that are showing some promise. But as you can see, I've been at this now for about 5 days, testing a little bit of money a day, and am still working on finding that first sale and that first winner. And I'm going to share it with you guys, of course, when I do, because this is going to be a group thing that we're going to continue to build and build. All right, so that's everything for now. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this video. Again, for anybody who may have watched through this who's already done some ads and has had success and has already seen their share of failures, then you probably are familiar with most of this already. But, I think it's still cool. I think it's still exciting for me, at least. Maybe not as exciting for you, but just the task that we're taking on here to build a store live. I think Robert Nava is the only other one out there that I see doing this, and he's obviously at a much higher level than me. He's built $1 million stores already, and I'm still grinding on my way to get there and be that next one coming up and doing that. So anyway, I'm excited. We're going to continue doing this. We're going to continue launching and moving through and making this store a success, especially as we move into the 4th quarter here, and there's going to be a lot of stuff to sell. I hope to continue just sharing this experience with you and seeing more people get results and going through these ads and gathering this data and learning and testing and getting to that next level. All right, so have an amazing day. wherever you are. Questions, comments, ideas, thoughts, feedback, feel free to drop it in the comments as always, and I will see you in the next video.